Exercise. Your own structure. When you worked through the types playground, you had a chance to think about some real-world examples of types and the associated types they might depend on. A training shoe type, for example, might have a size property that's an int, a brand name that's a string, and a release date that's a date. Exercise. Think of another real-world object and its properties. Make up some actions or behaviors that the object might be able to perform. Write them all in plain English first in a comment. So let's do, I'm going to show you some shortcuts. We're going to do a computer struct with screen size, which is a property, and it's going to be a double. Total RAM in megabytes, which is going to be an int. Let's do, is it on bool? Who is the manufacturer? It's going to be a string. Manufacturer date is a date. Let's do a turn on function. I don't want that to autocomplete. And open program string. It's for opening a program function. So my parameter is going to be a string. So I just typed all of this. I can highlight all of this and press Command and then the slash, which is next to the Shift button. And I can comment and uncomment this text. So I'm going to add a little space in here just for readability. But there is my program in plain English. Exercise. Using the struct syntax from this lesson, create a type for your real-world object with the properties and methods you thought of. Remembering to mark each property with let or var, depending on whether or not it will be allowed to change. If you're not sure how to implement the body of one of the methods, describe what the method should do in a comment. Hint. If you made any properties with custom types, you can create placeholder types that have empty implementations. See the training shoe code at the bottom of this page for an example. The placeholder type below will make sure your playground can run without errors. So we have a training shoe example. So they've given us an example struct of training shoe. So placeholder type, we have a struct of shoelaces, and it's just totally empty. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't have any properties, but it is just an empty one, so we can use it in our training shoe. So we have our struct training shoe, and it let size, which is a constant, be an integer. Variable is tied as a bool because your shoes can come untied. Variable laces, shoelaces, so you can change out your shoelaces potentially. Function squeak, and then make a loud noise like rubber squeaking on a gym floor. So you can't really program that on a computer, but I mean you could, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to put that in a comment. And then function warn about laces. If laces are untied, print a reminder to tie them. So that is our struct for training shoe. And then this is going to create an instance of training shoe, or instance of shoelaces, and then instance of training shoe. So we're going to go back up. We're going to add our own struct. So call it computer. Make sure you label it with a capital letter because it is a type. Let screen size get a double. Variable. Total RAM in megabytes, because you can change your RAM. We're going to give that a variable as an integer. Variable is on. That's a variable because you can turn it off. Bool. Constant manufacturer. String. And constant manufacture date. Oh, is a date. Then we are going to do a function, turn on. It's going to print and then is on is going to change to true. And then we're going to do a function, open, and then our program, which is a string. And I don't necessarily need the label of that program. So we're going to open program string if computer is on, then print opening the whatever program you said, program, else print. I don't know how I would print this if the computer's off, but the computer. The computer needs to be turned on before you can open program. So that is just writing our own struct. We aren't necessarily going to use that. And some of these errors are okay for right now. All right, so we are going to use the struct. We are going to use the struct to we created to make a new instance of your type. So MacBook gets, and our type is computer. So we're making a new instance of computer, and it's going to get screen size, let's say 15.4. Total RAM. Is on, is that, let's say false. Manufacturer, it's a string. And manufacture date is a date type. So we're making a new instance of date. Time interval since 1970. Let's say 1. All right, and then we're going to tell our MacBook to turn on. And then we are going to open our program Xcode. All right, and then that is it. Oh, we need to import foundation. That should fix that. Cannot assign property to self is immutable. Oh, we are going to have a mutating function, so that just have that correct itself for now. We will talk about those later. So now we should have all of our problems fixed, and we have our computer struct and then our MacBook created, turned on, and then opened Xcode.